Hey folks, how you doing? Papa Joe here. I've been doing some reading up tonight, winding down. You know, I make these videos. I try to help new drivers learn. Try to help some of the experienced drivers think about some of the stuff they ain't thought about or had to experience. And tonight, one of the deals in Charlotte, North Carolina, came up on my news feed. It's in Landline. I suggest all of y'all get subscribed to Landline. That's the Owner Operator Independent Drivers Association, OOIDA. It's their newsletter. And they have a lot of good news and stuff in there. But it made me start thinking about making a video for some of you new drivers out here. They had rioting in the streets, in the highway again. And it shut the interstate down all night, or for a large portion of it. And they said there was quite a few trucks there. They only mentioned speaking to one driver, which happened to be a female. And it says a local television reporter from WSOC in Charlotte interviewed one driver who described her fear. She was sitting in her truck as rioters broke into the trailer and were destroying the cargo. Well, the woman stayed in her truck. You know, she reported the damages and whatnot, and she kept her tail in the truck. Smart move. You know, it used to be we only had to worry about parking in bad neighborhoods. And we've always had a little bit of truck jacking out here, hijacking going on. And it had a worse little spell there for a while, and that's slowed down drastically. Back to where you hardly ever hear of it. You hear of a stolen truck once in a while, but not a true truck jacking. But as this chaos that we live in gets worse, and it's going to still get worse, folks, you need to think about what you're going to do if you come across a situation. Now, a couple of things I wanted to share with you is, one, be very careful listening to other truck drivers. You're going to hear them telling you about the guns they got and what they're going to do and the clubs they got, and they're going to do this, that, and run over the world. They're all talking a bunch of smack. You need to not follow what they're talking, and you need to have a plan. Now, along with that plan, I would suggest you email, text, any way to get it in a written form to your dispatch, safety, whoever you deem in your company, and ask them, and literally quote this looting of that woman's truck in Charlotte, North Carolina last night. Use that as an example and ask them in writing, how do you expect us to address this? How do we handle this situation? Now, if the company's worth a damn, they're going to tell you that no freight is worth you getting hurt. And if they won't tell you, I'll tell you. There ain't no freight worth you getting hurt over. Why bail out of that truck? And the best scenario is to get a good ass whooping. Worst case scenarios, get stabbed, shot, put in the hospital, killed. Over what? Freight that ain't even yours. The federal government forces the companies to overinsure. All that stuff's covered. You know, your job is to move it. Your job is not to protect it and put your life in danger to protect that nonsense. So don't do nothing stupid. And you need to find out where your company's head is on it for several reasons. One, they'll tell you what kind of company you're driving for. And two, should anything actually happen, you've got it in writing where they told you keep your ass in the truck and don't get hurt. You know? But you definitely need to think about it and have a plan. I could sit here all day and tell you what I would do. I don't know. I'm not in that predicament. You know? I would love to say I'd drive right on out of it. But if there's a bunch of cars stopped in front of me, I'm not going to run over cars and do a bunch of damage to cars and risk hurting people to save a load of whatever. And it don't matter what it is. You know, I'm not going to hurt people and do property damage to save some company chump change. And more than likely, the load you got to the company that actually owns it, it's chump change. To the trucking industry insurance, it's chump change. So don't put yourself in harm's way or in legal problem way. Because remember, you will be held accountable for your actions. So whatever you do, you need to do it with a level head and realize there will be consequences. Whether that means you jump out and get an ass whooping, or whether you drive over cars, or whether you just sit in the truck and say, well, shit, hope they don't break my windows coming in here. Now, by all means, protect your person, but don't worry about that cargo. Now, that's just my thoughts, but I'm nobody. I'm just a damned old truck driver that I ain't gonna get hurt over a load of freight. You know, 20 years ago, I'd thought about it differently, but I'm an old fat guy now. I don't heal like I used to. That shit hurts more than it used to. I don't play like that. Just a word of thought for y'all. Y'all think about it. Be ready for it. Remember, God loves you. I do too. And I hope you're never put in that predicament where you have to really decide what you're going to do. But you need to think about it in case you are. Y'all have a good night. God bless.